If I could pick one thing from Rogue Lineage to take to Deepwoken, it would be the fear and paranoia you had when playing the game. There was nothing like solo progressing or ganking, and always getting an adrenaline rush during fights. You would walk through towns and looting spots, always being fully locked in, ready to hit escape L enter at any moment. I was completely addicted to the game. No matter how many fights I lost, no matter how many times I wiped, I would always come back for more, because there was nothing like winning that one gank, or that one boss raid you would manage to pull off. The combat was, well, flawed, to say the least, but it had a certain charm to it. I liked the combat because of how unbalanced it was. I don't care that Faceless could do half your health in one move. Necromancers can spawn in like 50 Shriekers and be immortal, but that's alright. Nothing was overpowered when everything was overpowered, right? I guess that's where the term rogue balancing comes from. You'll hear that thrown around every now and then when you lurk into Discord servers. But no matter how many clips I saw of people dying, nobody ever really complained about being one-shot comboed. Unless they were, crashing out. That was just the law of the land in Rogue. They can do that, you can do that, everybody can. Another thing I loved about the game was how rare special artifacts, some abilities were. If you think those dead rare artifacts they just added to Deepwoken are hard to get, try getting a Lannis, or a mysterious artifact in 2020 Rogue. When you manage to get one of these, or something like Solon's, maybe even Tomeless, it really meant something. The amount of hours I spent collector hopping was too many, to say the least. Never got what I was looking for either. But I don't regret any of it. The more rare something was in the game, the more motivated I was to grind for it. The artifacts were extremely game-changing and cool. Not everyone could get them. Progressing was also one of my favorite parts about Rogue. As simple and tedious as progressing was, I was always motivated to do it. Never felt like it was a drag or that it was boring. I remember getting my Greatsword superclass for the first time, completely unboosted, and honestly, that was the most fun I've ever had in Rogue. I was logging to ultras, killing defenseless fresh spawns at Orsfall, using my broken race by spam drinking health potions. This was in 2021 to 2022 Rogue too, when solo progressing was pretty much unheard of, but somehow I managed to do it with all 3 of my lives. I love progressing because of how unfair it was. I will admit, I did start playing Rogue a bit late, around late 2020, but I still had a lot of fun, even though I was basically a perma-freshie. How is it possible that no matter how bad or simple the game was, it could always scratch the itch that Deepwoken never could? What even was the itch? Do I just have bad taste in games? Am I a masochist? Who really knows? After decades of waiting, bro, centuries even, we finally got Deepwoken. Early Layer 1 was Deepwoken at its peak. Nobody knew what they were doing or where to go. There was no meta, and I'm pretty sure there were literally only 2 oaths. The PvP at the time was just amazing. The infinite parry trading, no venting or tempo, enchants like heroism completely breaking the game. Honestly, enchants back then were on par with rogue artifacts. I don't care what anyone says. After a month of no-lifing the game, I got a total of 1 artifact, and it was a stench scarf. You would see all kind of wacky builds too. My first ever character was Lightning Medium, and well, it didn't get very far. I can't even lie, bro, Sharko trial was impossible. You guys do not know the struggle trying to kill a Sharko in the first week of Deepwoken. I don't think I ever got to power 60, but always wiping the depths to something. Remember the old methods of getting your bell that were just complete lies? I sat in the depths for 7 hours like people told me to do, and I was pissed when I didn't get a bell. My favorite part about Layer 1 was when people found out you gained luck from gripping people. After that, I turned into a menace, bro. I ganked so many people at Lower Arisia in the depths. There wasn't any chime either, so there was actually a reason to do overworld ganks. I have one OG build that hasn't been wiped yet, and yeah, it sucks. This dude is my bank slot now. Layer 1 of Deepwoken felt very similar to old Rogue Lineage, at least to me. Combat was unbalanced on release, which I liked. There were rare and cool things to grind for. Overworld ganks were everywhere. But most importantly, there was a real fear of wiping, just like in Rogue. There wasn't much content. We didn't need a lot of content. The game felt fresh. Nothing more to say, bro. Layer 1 was peak. I was very excited about Layer 2. I thought it was going to be the solution to all the problems we had. There was going to be more content, better combat and PvE, secrets, and a bunch of other stuff. However, I think this update is where the game wandered off into the wrong direction. One thing I did like about Layer 2 though, was the removal of luck. I think luck was stupid, and you shouldn't have to hope you get good RNG to get the talents you want. Chima Conflict was the biggest mistake that the Deepwoken devs have ever made, and they just keep building off of it. It straight up killed ganking. There was absolutely no reason to do it anymore. Another thing I really don't like about Layer 2 is venting. It just made the combat extremely boring and got rid of combos. You would land an M1 every now and then, or a move, then instantly get knocked back by some dude just pressing G. You could say what you want, but to me, a Roblox fighting game without combos, or at least mini-stun, is just outrageous. I'm pretty sure almost every Godseeker now thinks that Layer 1 combat was better. It also didn't help that by now, if you didn't have a fully min-max build, you weren't killing anybody. You aren't allowed to be creative anymore with build making. If you don't get the must-have talents, the build is going to be awful. Shrine of Order is also just, Not to mention, there's also pretty much zero risk of wiping in the depths now. Nobody fights anymore, bro. It's just lame. I don't really know anymore, man. The game doesn't feel like a roguelike anymore. There isn't any risk of wiping anymore. The combat is just way too refined, I guess you could say. I'm not even exaggerating. Every fun build I made got gutted. Crypt Blade Ice? Nope. Chain no longer goes through block, which was the entire reason people use Crypt Blade. Gravity Bell with Shadow Vortex? Nope. You can't cast AoE moves in Gravity Bell anymore. It's like the balancing team is trying to make the game as unfun as possible. The game is just completely different from anything we've seen in the past. I don't know why, but I also find that progressing is just extremely repetitive now, but wasn't it basically the same as Layer 1? In fact, it's actually better because of the EXP curve, but I guess it lost its charm. I don't know, but I don't really have a lot of motivation to make a build now. It's strange, really. I think if Deepwoken just took into account what made Layer 1 and Rogue Lineage so good, the game would be 20 times better today. I just don't think Layer 2 was all that great. Made the game worse, in my opinion. I hope that in the future, we see some good changes. Anyways, that's pretty much the video. I didn't cover everything, but I'm not about to sit here and ramble about Deepwoken for 30 minutes. Wait, before you leave. The man, patent pending, is the greatest Deepwoken character to ever exist. If you like those chime clips, I have a video up on my channel on how to make the man, patent pending. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll have more Deepwoken stuff coming out soon. I don't really know what to do yet though. Do you guys like the monologue? Or do you want me to do something else? Comment some cool ideas for me to do. Anyways, see ya.